They told you to stay normal. They told you to stay quiet. They told you to smile, even when your soul was bleeding. And you listened. You became the good one, the loyal one, the patient one. While the world chewed you up and spat you out, you watched people lie to your face. You watched friends turn into strangers. You watched love turn into leverage. You watched loyalty become a joke. And you stayed calm. You stayed respectful. You stayed understanding. That was your first mistake. Because the world doesn't reward kindness. It tests it, breaks it, uses it. And when you finally snap, they call you crazy. People, they never ask what pushed you there. This is the story of that push. This is the transformation. From common man to Joker mindset. You weren't born dangerous. You were made this way. Every betrayal carved you. Every lie sharpened you. Every lonely night trained you. You didn't choose darkness. Darkness chose you. You used to believe in people. You believed in promises. You believed in fairness. You believed effort would be rewarded. You believed honesty mattered. You believed loyalty was rare but real. Then reality laughed in your face. The one you trusted most stabbed you slowly. The ones you helped disappeared when you needed them. The ones who smiled with you smiled harder at your downfall. And you learned the first rule of survival. No one is coming to save you. You were alone long before you realized it. Nights got quieter. Messages got shorter. Smiles felt heavier. You started talking less, not because you had nothing to say, but because nobody listened. You watched people choose convenience over character. You watched morals bend when money entered the room. You watched loyalty die for comfort. And you felt something change inside you. Not anger, not sadness, something colder, something sharper. You stopped expecting, you stopped hoping, you stopped trusting, and in that silence, you began to see clearly. People don't betray you for no reason. They do it because they can. Power reveals character. Pain builds it. You realized kindness without strength is weakness, and weakness invites predators. So you stopped being prey. You didn't announce it. You didn't explain it. You just changed. Your smile became rarer. Your words became fewer. Your eyes became quieter. You civilized people. But inside a storming, you studied people, their patterns, their lies, their masks. You saw how easily they pretended, how quickly they switched sides, how cheaply they sold their integrity. And you stopped playing fair, because fair is for fools. You learned to be calm in chaos, silent in storms, unreadable in rooms full of snakes. You became unpredictable, not loud, not wild, calculated. They used to laugh at you, now they watch you. They used to ignore you, now they feel you. You no longer chased respect, you commanded it. Pain was your teacher. Loneliness was your gym. Betrayal was your blueprint. You stopped seeking validation. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped proving anything. Because power doesn't explain, it acts. Pull. You used to care what people thought. Now you study what they fear. You used to want approval. Now you want control. Not over others, over yourself. You became disciplined, not motivated. Motivation fades. Discipline doesn't. You trained your mind to stay calm under pressure. You trained your heart to feel less. You trained your eyes to see everything. You stopped reacting. You started responding. That's when they noticed. Your silence scared them. Your calm confused them. People, your distance unsettled them. They couldn't read you anymore. They couldn't use you anymore. They couldn't predict you anymore. And that terrified them. Because when people can't control you, they try to label you. Cold, arrogant, heartless. Let them talk. They never called you strong when you were suffering. They never praised your patience. They never respected your sacrifices. Now they fear your confidence. Good. You didn't become ruthless overnight. You became realistic people. You stopped giving energy to those who drained you. You stopped investing in people who returned nothing. You stopped wasting time on fake loyalty. Your circle got smaller. Your mind got sharper. Your focus got stronger. You learned to sit alone, to think alone, to build alone. Because solitude builds monsters, and monsters don't beg. You no longer seek revenge. You seek results. Success is the loudest revenge. You don't chase enemies. You outgrow them. You don't fight every battle. You win the war. They think you changed, they're wrong. You woke up. You realize the world isn't soft, so you stop being soft. You realize love is conditional, so you became unconditional to yourself. You realized loyalty is rare, so you became loyal to your mission. You don't need applause. You need dominance. Not loud dominance, silent dominance. The kind that makes rooms quiet. The kind that makes eyes follow you. The kind that makes words unnecessary. You became the storm people feel before it arrives. They don't know what you're planning. They just know you're different. You stopped talking about goals. You started executing them. You stopped dreaming. You started building. You stopped hoping. You started becoming. Well, you learned that emotions are tools, not masters. You use anger for fuel, pain for focus, loneliness for growth. You don't drown in darkness, you rule it. The Joker mindset isn't madness. It's clarity, seeing the world for what it is, not what you wish it was. It's understanding that chaos favors the prepared, and the unprepared become victims. You are no longer a victim. You don't seek peace. You create power. Peace comes later, after dominance. Your past doesn't haunt you. It trains you. Your scars don't weaken you. They sharpen you. Your losses don't define you. They build you. You don't ask for respect. You demand it with presence. Your silence speaks louder than arguments. Your discipline screams louder than words. You are no longer common. You are controlled, focused, unshaken. The Joker doesn't beg. The Joker doesn't chase. The Joker doesn't explain. He observes. He waits. He strikes when the moment is perfect. And you are learning that art. You used to fear being alone. Now you fear being distracted. You used to fear losing people. Now you fear losing purpose. You used to fear failure. Now you fear stagnation. Your standards rose. Your tolerance dropped. Your vision sharpened. You no longer fit in small rooms. You no longer think small thoughts. You no longer live small lives. You became a threat to mediocrity. That's why they whisper. That's why they watch. That's why they feel uneasy around you. Because controlled chaos is more dangerous than wild noise. You don't destroy loudly, you dominate silently. This is not about becoming evil. It's about becoming untouchable. Strong enough to survive, smart enough to win, cold enough to stay focused. You are not broken. You are forged. Forged by betrayal, forged by pain, forged by isolation. The common man dies in comfort. The Joker mindset thrives in pressure. And you chose pressure. Because comfort made you weak. Pain made you powerful. This is only the beginning. The mind is sharpening. The fire is rising. The transformation isn't finished. The real war is internal. And you're just getting started. You stopped asking for permission to exist. You stopped waiting for the world to be fair. You stopped hoping people would understand you. People, hope is a drug. It makes weak men comfortable in bad situations. You chose withdrawal. You chose clarity. Now every move you make is intentional. Every word is measured. Every silence is strategical. You don't rush. You don't panic. You don't beg. You observe. Because observation turns chaos into opportunity. You've seen how people move when they think nobody is watching. How loyalty disappears when pressure arrives. How morality collapses when survival is threatened. That's when you understood something brutal. Most people are loyal to comfort. Not to people. Not to principles. Not to truth. Comfort. Take that away, and the mask falls. You learn to stop expecting depth from shallow minds. You learn to stop searching for loyalty in a world built on convenience. You learn to stop trusting words over actions. Actions never lie. People do. You don't hate people. You understand them. And that understanding made you dangerous. Because you know their weaknesses, their patterns, their desperation. You know what they'll sacrifice when things get hard. And you know exactly what you'll never sacrifice again. Your self-respect. You used to apologize for existing. Now you make people uncomfortable by standing still. Your presence carries weight, not because you're loud, but because you're grounded. Still waters are deep, and deep waters drown the unprepared. You don't chase attention. Attention chases energy, and your energy is controlled. Every loss taught you something. Every betrayal hardened you. Every lonely night trained your mind to function without noise. You learned how to sit with your thoughts, not escape them, not distract yourself, not numb yourself. You face them, the dark ones, the angry ones, the ones that whisper revenge, the ones that question loyalty. You didn't run from them. You mastered them. Because a man who controls his demons controls the battlefield. You don't explode. You calculate. You don't react. You respond. You don't show emotion. You weaponize it. Anger fuels focus. Pain fuels discipline. Isolation fuels clarity. You stopped seeing suffering as punishment. You started seeing it as training. The world is a gym, and most people quit. You didn't. You showed up when nobody was watching. You built yourself when nobody cared. You strengthened your mind when nobody believed. Now they feel it, not because you told them, but because your presence speaks. You walk different. You think different. You move different. You're not trying to impress. You're trying to dominate your own limits. And that scares people. Because most people are still trapped in excuses. They blame the past. They blame others. They blame the world. You blame yourself. And that's why you grow. You accepted responsibility for everything. Your mistakes, your losses, your failures. No excuses. No pity, no weakness. Just accountability. And accountability creates power. You don't complain about life. You command it. You don't ask for opportunities. You create leverage. You don't wait for respect. You carry it. You became emotionally unavailable. Not because you're broken, but because you're focused. Your heart is guarded. Your mind is sharpened. Your mission is protected. You don't give access to everyone. Access is earned. Because the wrong people drain energy. Oh, and energy is currency. You invest wisely now. You stopped oversharing. Stopped explaining. Stopped justifying. Silence became your language. Because silence makes people reveal themselves. They talk. They brag. They lie. You listen, and the one who listens always controls the room. You don't rush into relationships. You don't rush into alliances. You don't rush into trust. Trust is built slowly and broken instantly. You learned that the hard way. Now you move like a chess player, not a gambler. Every move has purpose. Every step has direction. You don't fear losing people anymore. You fear losing momentum. Momentum is everything. A moving mind is unstoppable. A focused man is lethal. You don't need validation. You need progress. Progress is silent. Results are loud. And your results are starting to echo. People notice the discipline. They feel the shift. They sense the danger. Not danger to others, danger to comfort. Because your presence reminds them of what they could have been. And that makes them uncomfortable. Some will respect you. Some will envy you. Some will hate you. You don't care. Reactions don't control you anymore. Purpose does. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered. You don't seek revenge. You seek domination of your own potential. Because when you win internally, the external world follows. You don't need to destroy others. Life will do that for you. You just need to outgrow them. Growth is quiet. Transformation is lonely. And loneliness is where monsters are born. You used to fear silence. Now you crave it. Silence is where focus lives. Noise is where distractions breed. You cut off distractions. You cut off excuses. Cut off weakness. You didn't look back. Your standards became brutal. For yourself, you don't tolerate laziness. You don't tolerate dishonesty. You don't tolerate mediocrity. Not in others, and especially not in yourself, because the hardest person to defeat is the disciplined version of you. You trained your body. You trained your mind. You trained your reactions. You became unshakable, not fearless, focused. Fear exists, but it doesn't lead. You lead. Your past doesn't define you. It sharpens you. Your scars aren't weakness. They're proof of survival. You don't hide them. You wear them internally. Every scar is a reminder. Never go back. You stopped romanticizing struggle. You started mastering it. You don't seek chaos. You control it. The Joker mindset isn't about madness, it's about precision. Controlled unpredictability, silent dominance, strategic detachment. You're not emotional, you're efficient. Efficiency wins wars. You don't announce your moves. You let outcomes speak, because outcomes silence critics. You don't argue, you advance. You don't compete, you elevate. You don't chase the throne, you build it. Your mind is your weapon. Your discipline is your armor. Your silence is your strategy. You became a problem for weak systems, for weak people, for weak excuses, because strength exposes weakness. You don't fit into small conversations anymore. You don't tolerate small thinking. You don't live small lives. Your vision expanded, people, your patience sharpened, your ambition intensified. You're no longer trying to survive. You're trying to dominate your own destiny. You don't look for meaning. You create it. You don't wait for change. You become it. And deep inside, you know this isn't the final version of you. This is just the weapon being forged. The fire is still burning. The pressure is still rising. The transformation isn't complete, because true power isn't loud, it's inevitable. And you're becoming inevitable. You don't announce your evolution. You let it terrify people in silence. Because the strongest form of power is the kind nobody sees coming. You stopped proving yourself. You started becoming undeniable. Your mind no longer asks for permission. It commands direction. You don't dream anymore. You execute. Dreams are for the distracted. Execution is for the ruthless. You stopped waiting for motivation. You built discipline. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. You don't feel sorry for your past. You respect it, because pain trained you to survive where others collapse. You don't run from pressure. You breathe in it. Pressure is where weak minds crack, strong minds sharpen. You became strategic, not emotional. Emotions make noise. Strategy makes results. You learned when to speak and when to stay silent. Silence isn't weakness. It's control. You let people underestimate you because surprise is a weapon. They see calm. They don't see calculation. They hear silence. They don't hear planning. And that's why you win. You don't react to disrespect. You let success respond. You don't chase closure. You create distance. Distance is peace. Peace is power. You stopped asking, why me? You started saying, watch me. You don't carry grudges. You carry lessons. And lessons turn into dominance. You don't destroy people. You outgrow them. You don't fight every battle. You choose the war. Your presence alone makes weak intentions uncomfortable. Because when someone has control over themselves, they become uncontrollable to others. You don't need to be understood. You need to be effective. Understanding is emotional. Effectiveness is lethal. You became precise, not impulsive. Every move has purpose. Every silence has meaning. You stopped explaining your choices. Explanations are for the insecure. You stand by your decisions without noise. Noise is for the powerless. You became selective with time, with energy, with people. Because everything is an investment, and you only invest where there's return. You stop chasing validation. Validation is a trap. You build results. Results don't need approval. People, you don't beg for respect. You command it through consistency. Consistency builds reputation. Reputation builds fear. Not loud fear, quiet fear. The kind that makes people think twice. You became harder to read, harder to manipulate, harder to break, because you mastered yourself. The Joker mindset isn't about chaos. It's about control inside chaos. Being calm when everything burns. Being silent when others scream. Being steady when others fall. That's real power. You don't threaten. You demonstrate, you don't argue. You outperform, you don't complain. You conquer. You no longer carry the weight of the world. You carry direction. Direction cuts through confusion. You stop being emotional. You became intentional. Intentional men shape outcomes. You don't follow trends. You set standards. Standards separate leaders from followers. You don't seek peace from the world. You build it within. Internal peace creates external dominance. You don't fear losing people. You fear losing focus. Focus is your weapon. You learn to sit alone without breaking. You learn to think without noise. You learn to move without permission. That's when power arrived, not as arrogance, as certainty. Certainty in who you are. Certainty in where you're going. Certainty in what you refuse to become again. You will never be the version of you that begged for loyalty, that chased validation, that tolerated disrespect. That version is dead, buried under discipline, buried under self-respect, buried under clarity. You don't need revenge. You need evolution. Evolution humiliates enemies without effort. You don't expose people. You let their actions speak. Silence is a mirror. You don't seek attention, you attract consequence. And consequences change rooms. You don't wear power loudly. You wear it quietly. Because quiet confidence is louder than noise. Your past no longer hurts you, it fuels you. Your scars don't weaken you, they remind you, never again will you be easy to break. Never again will you be easy to manipulate. Never again will you be easy to control. You built your own code, your own rules, your own standards. You don't follow society's script, you write your own. You became unpredictable, not reckless. Calculated unpredictability is fear in its purest form. People don't know your next move, but they feel the pressure. Pressure changes behavior. You don't dominate people. You dominate circumstances. You don't control others. You control outcomes. That's higher power. You stop being reactive. You became proactive. You don't wait for storms. You become the storm. Not loud, not chaotic, silent, precise, unstoppable. You don't chase success. You attract it through discipline. Discipline is magnetic. You don't fear loneliness. You use it. Loneliness builds monsters, and monsters shape empires. You don't complain about your path. You respect it, because easy roads create weak men. Hard roads create legends. You chose the hard road. And now your presence carries weight. Your words carry power. Your silence carries threat. Not threat to people, threat to limitation. You are no longer common. You are controlled, focused. Unshakable. You don't need approval. You need dominance over yourself, because self-mastery is the highest form of power. You don't look for meaning, you create it. You don't ask for purpose, you become it. Your existence now sends a message, not with words, with presence. And that presence says one thing clearly: you tried to break me, you failed. You tried to use me, you failed. You tried to ignore me, you failed. Now watch me rise, not with noise, not with chaos. People with control. This is the Joker mindset, not madness. Mastery, not destruction. Domination, not revenge. Results. You don't laugh because life is funny. You laugh because you survived what was meant to destroy you. And now you walk forward, not as a victim, but as a weapon, silent, focused, unbreakable. The common man begged for acceptance. The Joker mindset commands respect, and you are no longer becoming it. You are it.